this job, immediately we land and that boarding door opens and the customers get off and I step out of that jetway, I'm done. It's over. The show is over. Cut. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Once again, if you're new, my name is Priscilla. I am a new Seattle-based flight attendant working with a major US airline company. And on this channel, I share my flight attendant experience and journey with you all, as well as my travel adventures. Okay, so welcome. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and tap on it real quickly. Give the video a thumbs up. And as you watch the video, share your thoughts in the comment section below. In today's video, I will be talking about some of the pros and cons of being a flight attendant. I know I am new. If you're a regular, you know I'm new. I am new to the industry. I just started working and I feel like these are some of the pros and cons that I can share now that I'm almost 6 months in, just to give the new people who are trying to become flight attendants a fair idea of what to expect. Honestly, regardless of what the cons are, I still enjoy the job because I know what my why is. I know the reason why I chose or decided to become a flight attendant. And right now, it's good. And like any other job, no job is perfect, okay? No job is perfect. Even if you're sitting at home doing nothing, it is not perfect, okay? So let's slide right into it. First of all, I'm going to start with the pros, some of the benefits or advantages of being a flight attendant out here in the streets in this world. The first thing is that you're not forced to work a set schedule. It's not monotonous in the sense that you're not doing the same thing over and over again. Let's compare my journey when I worked as a manager at Amazon, for example. I had a set schedule. I was working between Sundays to Wednesdays. Those were the days that I was working consistently throughout my period over there. Working the same schedule, dealing with the same people, dealing with the same situation over and over again, the same thing. But with this job, there's the flexibility that comes to it. Let's say for October, I want to work between Fridays, Saturday and Sundays. I can bid or request for that. And then let's say September, this coming September, I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like working the weekends this September. Let me bid for a schedule that schedules me trip between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up to Thursday, regardless of how many days you want. So there is that flexibility where you're not forced to work the same thing over and over again. You're also not forced to work the same trips or flights over and over again. Your rotation changes from time to time. You can go in and bid specifically for the same rotation over and over. However, you don't have to. I love it for that as well. And I know if you're a new flight attendant, you might not be able to get the days that you want to work or the days that you want off, or you might not get the specific rotation you bid for. But in general, it is definitely a pro that you can take advantage of as you stay within the industry and you keep working. The second pro or the second advantage of being a flight attendant for me is traveling to different destinations. Essentially, you're getting paid to travel the world. You have the ability to visit other countries and just explore the cities. And sometimes our layovers are as long as over 30 hours. So if I'm going to Accra, Ghana, for example, and I have 32 hours to spend, that's a good amount of time to explore the city and have fun, you know? The advantage, at least with the airline company that I work for, is that because is based in the US and we do have domestic rotations or trips within the US, I'm able to explore the US as well. So I don't necessarily have to go outside of the United States to visit cities and visit like nice destinations or locations, among other things. So I appreciate it for that. So we do go international, we do go transoceanic, we do go to Europe, we do go to Asia, we do go to Africa. However, we also have domestic trips here that are worthwhile as well. So you're essentially getting paid to travel. Why won't this be a benefit? Third benefit of being a flight attendant: your work does not follow you home. This is particularly a very important benefit to me. I know the travel benefits and all that good stuff, it's good, but for me personally, it's the fact that my job does not follow me home. Big benefit for me specifically because of the job that I used to do prior to becoming a flight attendant. But with this job, immediately we land and that boarding door opens and the customers get off and I step out of that jetway, I'm done. It's over. The show is over. Cut. It is over. So I enjoy that about this job. It doesn't follow me. Fourth benefit is that you get the travel benefits, which everybody talks about. You get the amazing travel benefit that allows you to fly across the world, especially if you're working with a major US airline company that flies international, both domestic and international. And beyond you getting these benefits, you get to share these benefits with your friends and family as well. So it's definitely a plus. I know these days there's so many flight attendants out there that are flying, and then also customers and passengers are flying a lot, especially during summer and stuff like that, and it makes the travel benefit feel a bit more like extinct in a way. Like it's non-existent, because sometimes you and I get on that plane, okay? And the way the travel benefits work is a whole beast on its own, but at the core, you do get those benefits, and it's definitely a really good deal, because someone like me who is not originally from the US, I'm from Ghana, and knowing that my airline has a non-stop flight from the United States to Accra, Ghana, it's definitely a huge factor and a benefit for me. So I can appreciate that. The fifth benefit of being a flight attendant is you do not have to work for people you don't like. So I know this might sound a bit negative, but there are usually some people that you just don't gel with. You know, when you're stuck in the tube for long periods of time, you would preferably want to work with people that you actually want to be in their presence. You don't necessarily have to be buddy and friends with that individual, but if I work with you one time and I don't feel your energy, I feel like we're not on the same wavelength, like the vibrations are different and they're not meshing the way they should, they're not gelling the way they should, I can potentially just avoid flying with you. I know some airlines do have the ability where you can put people on your no-flight list, but with my airline, we don't necessarily have a system like that, but I know there are some individuals that would create a list of people that you don't want to fly with. They take note of their name, and then they just avoid them, essentially. So you can do that, unlike my other job where I was stuck with you. So whether I liked you or not, I had to see your face every single day. I had to deal with you every single day, okay? So I can appreciate that. Personally, I don't have a no-fly list, because as I've always said, I'm easygoing. I don't really care. I'm not looking for much in this world, but just peace and happiness and serenity. So I'm not here doing the most or expecting the most from people. Plus, I give people the benefit of the doubt most of the time and assume that they are who they are because they are who they are, and it's none of my business. So I just do me and I keep it pushing, okay? So yes, you don't have to work with people you don't want to work with. You can literally avoid the people you don't want to work with. Like it's that easy, it's that simple, okay? The sixth pro of being a flight attendant, the pay. The pay is good. The pay is good. In general, the pay is good. However, it ultimately depends on the airline company you're working with. Whether you're working with the type of airline company, whether it's a regional airline or it's a mainline airline. And I do plan on creating a video on regional versus mainline airlines and just share with you all the differences. That way, if you're planning on becoming a flight attendant, you can take note of those differences as you do your research as well. So the pay is good. With my airline, for example, the pay is good, and the hourly pay is good, and because it's good, it sets you up, or it gives you a good foundation. So that being, if you take up extra trips, if you fly more, you can make more money. Essentially, that's what that means. But then if your starting pay or your hourly pay is already not that great, then regardless of how many flights you fly, you still would not earn that much money that makes it worthwhile. I don't know if that makes sense. For example, I know, you guys know me, I talk to flight attendants, like I research, I engage with flight attendants, especially when I'm working with people that have been in the industry for quite some time. And I spoke to a few people and they were sharing their experience in terms of like years where they fly a lot, or years where within the months they fly a lot. They work about 120 or 30 hours, or sometimes 140 hours a month. During those years, they make close to $200,000. And that's a good amount of money to make as a flight attendant, especially knowing the way the job works. So you can potentially make good money, especially with my airline company. So the pay is good. I know most people say the pay is not great and all that, but as I've said in my previous video, majority of the time, the people that complain about the pay not being good enough are individuals that are working with regional airline companies, because their starting hourly pay is already low. So you're not even set up for success to begin with. And those who work with mainlines that will complain about pay not being good enough is the fact that with the way the industry works, for the most part, you do more than you're getting paid for. That's the general issue, you know? But then again, for me, having worked within so many industries and worked with so many companies, I know that for the most part, regardless of who you're working for, at some point, you're either underpaid or you're doing more than you're getting paid for. It's expected, unless you're running your own business where you own the business and you reap the sole benefits of that business. You're getting a shorthanded one way or the other. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out what you're getting out of this job or working with this company, and weigh to see if it's worth it. Is it worth leaving a job because you think you're not getting paid for all the time you're expending? Or is it worth staying because in as much as you're not getting the cash pay for the time you're spending, you're still getting some benefits that makes it worthwhile. So let that sink in for a bit. The seventh benefit of being a flight attendant, or the pros of being a flight attendant, it is the job is not hard. I know training is a lot and it's difficult and it takes your time, and the role when you go for training, what you're being trained for, it's definitely intense and it can be scary sometimes depending on the things that you're shown and like what you discuss and what you're taught and everything. You kind of start wondering, are you really going to be able to do this? Because everybody assumes from the outside that our job is just to serve drinks and snacks on a flight, but that's not the primary, that's not the core reason why we're on that plane. We're on that plane for safety reasons, knowing that it can potentially get to the point where it's a life or death situation, you know? So that being said, it kind of makes it a little bit heavy, but at its core, the job itself, it's not difficult because I feel training sets you up for success from the safety angle. And then as you do the job, you learn how to interact. If you have any sort of customer service experience, it's not easy because you're already used to interacting with people, you know? And as a whole, it's not difficult. It might get strenuous and tiring like every other job, but it's not that difficult. It's not. The job itself at its core is very easy, so it's worth it, at least for me. But then I've had harder jobs, so maybe that's why. The eighth benefit for me is getting to work with people that you actually enjoy. And if you enjoy the presence of those individuals, you're stuck with them for like 6-7 hours, so you're able to enjoy them more. And that's been one of the things that I've benefited and I've enjoyed so much ever since I started working as a flight attendant. I know recently when I worked a 3-day domestic trip where I did Tampa and Fort Lauderdale and Cincinnati, Ohio as a whole, it was amazing because the crew that I worked with were amazing. Like the energy was just so good and we were like authentic with each other. Like it was just amazing and I enjoyed it. Like although the job was very stressful and we had some very needy passengers, very needy, it was fun. It was worthwhile because I was working with people that I actually enjoyed being in their presence. I enjoyed them just as much as they enjoyed me. So it was really great, and it had been a long time since I actually worked with people that I actually enjoyed their presence, and that's been the case most of the time with all the flights that I've worked. So it's actually making the job more easy. It's making it more easy and comfortable for me to ease myself into it, you know, and enjoy the whole process. So it's been good, okay? It's been good. The ninth benefit or advantage of being a flight attendant is that the prestige that comes with it. I don't know about y'all, but there is a level of prestige that comes to being a flight attendant. You know, I think the job in itself has had this reputation from years ago to today that there is some level of, you know, prestige that comes with being a flight attendant. Even though we're usually on that plane serving some cookies and pretzels, okay? And I love the fact that when our passengers get on that plane, they value our presence. And I think most of the time that level of regard or respect is from the fact that they know the importance of what we do. And I've flown with some passengers that knew the reasons why we're on that plane. Like they know what our actual jobs and duties were beyond serving cookies and pretzels. And when you talk to those people, you can sense the admiration and the respect that they have for us and the job that we do because of how critical it is. When people understand our job to that level, there's a whole level of respect and admiration that they have for the flight crew. So when I interact with people like that, I really appreciate it, and it allows me to see the importance of the benefit of the job that I have, regardless of all the disadvantages that may be associated with it. And yes, it does come with a level of prestige. When you see us in that uniform, oh my God, can I get a moment here? Too much drama. But that's a benefit for me. I love that admiration that people typically have for us. Like when they see us at the airport, we get stared at. Like it feels like you're walking in a movie or you're walking on a runway. Like people are looking at you, they're admiring you, they want to be like you know? And I love that. I really appreciate that. And I want everybody who becomes a flight attendant to embrace it. Let it all in and embrace it. You are your brand, so keep that in mind. The 10th benefit of being a flight attendant is you do have the ability to make as much money as you want. You do. You really do. As whatever people must say about the job, about the pay and everything, you actually have the potential to increase your earning potential. You do. Because you're not limited. I know I spoke to a few flight attendants who have been working in the industry for some few years now, several years, honestly, if you ask me, not a few, because 25 years, 30 years, 43 years is not a few years. But when I spoke to them, they were like, at some point there was a cap for how many hours you could work in a month, but now there isn't, at least with the airline company that I work for. So if I am making almost $6,000 a month, working 110 hours that month, then imagine how much you can make if you do 140, 120, 130. So you do have the ability to make a lot of money, and you do have the ability to pick up extra flights as well. You're not limited with regards to how many flights you can work in a month. So if you want to work more, you can work more and make more money. So there's no cap, there's no limitation. And I think that's one of the advantages that at least the airline companies in the US have. The fact that we can increase our earning potential by picking up more work, like picking up extra shift essentially. So you do have that advantage as a flight attendant. All right, so I know I said I was going to talk about the pros and cons in this video, but it's definitely becoming way too long. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to end the benefits here, or the advantages of being a flight attendant here, and then I will create a second video, a continuation of part 2, where I talk about the disadvantages of being a flight attendant, because as we know, no job is perfect. See you in the part 2 of this video where I talk about the disadvantages or the cons of being a flight attendant. With that being said, if you made it this far, go ahead and tap on that subscribe button, support your girl, hit that like button, give the video a thumbs up, and then also share your thoughts in today's video in the comment section below. If you have any additional advantages that you want to share, drop it in the comment section below. See you in my next one. Bye-bye. That allows you to fry. Not allow you to fry. Oh my God. Too much excitement here.